বাকিরা বাকিরা ক্লাস অ্যাটেন্ডিস
ওরা খবর পেয়েছে তো?
হ্যালো, বাকি পার্টিসিপেন্টরা কখন আসছে? হ্যালো, Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
There are 88 participants. So মানে মোটামুটি কজন আসছে তোমাদের?
স্যার টোটাল তো 200 স্ট্রেংথ স্যার, বাকিরা জয়েন করছে।
জয়েন করছে তো একটু বলে দাও প্লিজ, ঠিক আছে?
ইয়েস স্যার।
হুম হুম।
বইটা দেখা যাচ্ছে তো? ফাইন। সো মাঝে একটা ক্লাস মিস হয়েছে। Today we shall continue with something known as anthropometry. So can anyone of you recap আমরা কি কি methods of nutritional assessment পড়িয়েছিলাম? What were the methods we talked about? Any one of you? A B C D বলেছিলাম, মনে আছে? কি কি ছিল সেটা একটু জাস্ট রিকল করতে পারবে কেউ?
Anthropometry, biochemical test, clinical examination, diet, ecological findings.
ভেরি গুড, ভেরি গুড। তার মানে আমাদের ABCD কি কি ছিল সেটা মোটামুটি একটা রিক্যাপ হলো। সো ডায়াট সার্ভেটা নিয়ে আমরা ডিসকাস করেছি আগের দিন। ক্লিনিক্যাল এক্সামিনেশনটা নিয়েও এখানে না হলে অন্য জায়গায় ডিসকাশন হয়েছে। সো অ্যান্থ্রোপোমেট্রিটা নিয়ে আজকে ডিসকাস করবো। আচ্ছা, তোমাদের সফট কপিটা সবাই পেয়ে গেছো তাই তো বইটা? তাহলে অ্যান্থ্রোপোমেট্রি দিয়ে শুরু করছি। হোয়াট ইজ অ্যান্থ্রোপোমেট্রি? ইট ইজ বেসিক্যালি measurement of the body. Okay, it's basically measurement of the body. এই মেজারমেন্টটা depends on which things? Any idea? Size of the body বা measurement of the body কি কি জিনিসের উপর ডিপেন্ড করে? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
আচ্ছা, মাঝে মাঝে কিছু উত্তর টুত্তর দিও, নয়তো আমি ভাববো যে ডিসকানেক্টেড হয়ে গেছি, ঠিক আছে? সো দিস অ্যান্থ্রোপোমেট্রি ডিপেন্ডস অন ethnicity, nutritional status and age. If you can remember যে after adulthood age ceases to be a factor of body measurement. এজ আর কোনো ফ্যাক্টর হিসেবে কাজ করে না। So after that time, whatever measures we take in anthropometry, we call them as age independent criteria. So adults have mostly age independent criteria, and children and adolescents have age dependent criteria. মানে এজের সাথে সাথে তাদের বডি সাইজটা will be changing. So for adults we can remember one or two cutoffs, and with that we can what should I say, measure the adults and say whether that person is fat or that person is underweight, etc. But for children and adolescents, it is not that simple because for each age the cutoffs become different. So for children and adults, we use something known as growth charts. Because in these growth charts, the curves of the growth of the children are given, and according to the age of the children or some other parameters, we plot it in the chart and see whether the weights are okay or not. Fine. এইবার firstly we shall be coming to children, because for children the growth is typically a very big problem. Okay, so there are ways with the help we can measure the weight, the height, or the length of the children. So, what is the difference between length and height? Any one of you?
স্যার ফার্স্ট 2 ইয়ার্স অফ লাইফে আমরা লেন্থ বলি, আর মোর দ্যান 2 ইয়ার্স হলে হাইট বলি।
আচ্ছা, মানে লেংথ মানে কি বলো? হোয়াট ইজ লেংথ? এফএসএম এ পড়েছিলে লেংথ। যদি এফএসএম এর সঙ্গে আমাদের এই এটা
দৈর্ঘ্য।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ বলো।
দৈর্ঘ্য, লেন্থ মানে হচ্ছে দৈর্ঘ্য।
Length is basically
মেজারমেন্ট বিটুইন টু পয়েন্টস।
মেজারমেন্ট উইথ 2 পয়েন্টস না, লেংথ আমরা এখানটাতে ধরবো ইট ইজ ইন লাইন পজিশন, ওকে, ইন হরিজন্টাল পজিশন। আর হাইটে আমরা ধরবো ইট ইজ দ্য ভার্টিক্যাল পজিশন, ওকে। So if the child is not able to stand, we cannot measure the height of the child. If he can stand, the neck holding is there, he can stand properly upright, only then we can measure the height of the child. Otherwise, we have to measure the length of the child. Clear? তাহলে মেথডস অফ মেজারমেন্ট গুলো একটু বলে দিচ্ছি। মেজার অফ ওয়েট অফ দ্য চাইল্ড, এখানটাতে দ্য মোস্ট কমনলি ইউজড ইজ দিস, the weighing scale or the bathroom weighing scale, often known as that. ওকে, এবার এইখানটাতে কি চাইল্ডের ওয়েটটা মেজার করা যাবে? কি মনে হচ্ছে? মানে যারা বাড়িতে বাচ্চা টাচ্চা দেখেছো, একটা এমনি যে ওয়েইং স্কেল আমরা ইউজ করি, চাইল্ডস ওয়েট মেজার করা যায় ওতে? হ্যালো হ্যালো
অডিবল স্যার।
হ্যাঁ, একটু কি উত্তর দাও, নয়তো তো বুঝতে পারছি না। হ্যাঁ না কিছু কিছু একটা উত্তর দাও। If you use a bathroom weighing scale, is the weight of the child measurable there? কি মনে হয়, বাচ্চারা কি ওখানে দাঁড়াতে পারবে?
না স্যার।
তাহলে কি করি আমরা ইউজুয়ালি? আমরা একজন কোনো অ্যাডাল্টের ওয়েট নিই এবং তারপরে সেই অ্যাডাল্ট যিনি আছেন তিনি বাচ্চাটাকে কোলে নিয়ে তার ওয়েট নেওয়া হয়, নিয়ে আমরা মাইনাস করি, তাই তো? সো দিস ইজ আ রাফ মেথড অফ মেজারিং দ্য চাইল্ডস ওয়েট। দ্য সেকেন্ড মেথড ইজ ইউজিং স্প্রিং ব্যালেন্স ফর চিলড্রেন। একটা ছবি দেখতে পাচ্ছ তো? উই কল দিস অ্যাজ সল্টাস স্প্রিং ব্যালেন্স। This is typically used for measurement of the child in the field level settings. ফিল্ড লেভেলে কারা মেজার করে বাচ্চাদের ওজন, কারা নেয়? এনিওয়ান?
স্যার আশা ওয়ার্কার্স।
আশা না, আশা ওয়ার্কার্স না, কারা নেয়? যারা
অঙ্গনবাড়ি স্যার।
অঙ্গনবাদী ওয়ার্কার, ভেরি গুড, অঙ্গনবাদী ওয়ার্কার। তোমার নাম কি যে বললে?
পারস বাঘওয়ার।
Very good. Okay. So Anganwadi workers will measure the child in the field level. So they may use this kind of a instrument where they will hang the spring from any hook present in the house, put the child in this sling kind of thing and take the weight. But to be very frank, this is a very unsafe method because আমরা ফিল্ড লেভেলে মনিটরিং করতে গেছিলাম, এখানটাতে যেরকম করে বাচ্চাটা সুন্দর করে ঢুকে গেছে দেখাচ্ছে সেরকম নাও হতে পারে। ওকে, এবং তলাতে কিছু একটা সাপোর্ট দিয়ে রাখতে হতে পারে যাতে করে বাচ্চাটা পড়ে গেলে সেখানটাতে থাকে, এবং যে বাড়ির লোক, যে মা বাবা, দে বিকাম ভেরি স্কেয়ার উইথ দিস। এবং ইফ ইউ give something below, then the weight will not come properly. Okay, so you have to particularly hang the child to see the weight. So nowadays this is only used in case of যখন এখানটাতে ধরো ফ্যামিলিটা আসতে পারছে না টু দ্য অঙ্গনওয়াড়ি সেন্টার, if the family can bring the child to the অঙ্গনওয়াড়ি center, then we can use the base measurement, which is this weighing machine. This weighing machine is for the children, and this is available in your UTC, also in Amdanga, also in your department. So if when you will start coming to the department, you will see this weighing machine here. তোমরা এই to be very crude, সবজি মেজার করে বা ওই মুদির দোকানে যেরকম একটা মেশিন আছে দেখেছো, একটা ফ্ল্যাট প্যান আছে, তার উপর জিনিসপত্র রাখে এবং ইলেকট্রনিক্যালি চলে আসে, দেখেছো সেরকম যন্ত্রগুলো?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it is something like that. Electronically now হতে পারে, it may be analog also, but it is something like that. একটা প্যান মতো আছে, তার উপর বাচ্চাকে রাখা হয় and the weighing occurs. Okay, so that is about measurement of weight. আচ্ছা, এইবার measuring height. What is the instrument used for measuring height? Do you know the name of the instrument?
স্টেডিওমিটার।
Very good, stadiometer.
স্টেডিয়াম
কি নাম?
স্যার অনুব্রত রায়।
অনুব্রত, thank you. Stadiometer. So it is a stadiometer. Now stadiometer এগুলো বেসিক্যালি না দেখালে ডিসক্রাইব করা খুব ডিফিকাল্ট। স্টেডিওমিটার আমাদের ইমিউনাইজেশন ক্লিনিকে আছে একটা। So the person stands on a particular platform. There is a horizontal bar above which is adjustable. The bar is taken downwards and মাথার উপর অব্দি নিয়ে আসা হয়, নিয়ে তারপর মেজারমেন্টটা করা হয়। But to be very frank, stadiometer is very difficult to carry. So we use measuring tape, plain and simple measuring tape for measuring the height. But there has to be some steps that are to be followed. The steps are, এগুলো আমরা হাতে করে দেখাবো, মানে এখন তো দেখানো যাচ্ছে না। The steps are, যে পার্সন মানে যে যার হাইট নেওয়া হচ্ছে সে যদি জুতোটা খুলতে পারে, দ্যাট ইজ গুড, বিকজ তোমরা নিজেরাই জানো বিভিন্ন শু লেংথে বিভিন্ন হাইট হয়ে যেতে পারে। And then that person stands against the wall such that the occiput, the neck, and the buttock of the person is against the wall, and the person have to look forward in a straight manner. Forward মানে কিরকম হবে, মন দিয়ে শোনো। The line, if this is the eye of the person, the ear is like this, so there is a imaginary line between the outer canthus of the eyes and the tragus of the ear, right? So this line has to be horizontal to the floor, এরকম করে দাঁড়াতে হবে। So do you know what is this plane known as? This plane is known as the Frankfurt horizontal plane. So this has to be parallel to the floor. মানে চশমা যারা পরে, চশমার যে ডাটিটা, সেই ডাটিটা মোটামুটি ধরে নিতে পারো এই লাইনটা হচ্ছে সেটাই। ওকে, and after that a mark is made by a pencil on the top of the head on the wall, and the height of the person is measured from that mark to the floor. ঠিক আছে, তাহলে neck, occiput, buttock will be against the wall, Frankfurt plane will be parallel to the floor, and then the length or the height of the person will be measured. Okay. So now my question is, what is the unit of measurement you will use? Any idea?
সেন্টিমিটার।
Centimeter is the best measurement because এরপরে যা যা জিনিস করব আমরা সেন্টিমিটারে থাকলে that will be the best thing. Okay. Now hello. Okay. Now we shall see how to measure the length of a child. Okay, so to measure the length of the child, you can see that the child is in a lying position. So do you know the name of this instrument by which the length of the child is measured?
ইনফ্যান্টোমিটার।
Infantometer. Right.
ইনফ্যান্টোমিটার।
Okay, so how is this infantometer working? বাচ্চাটাকে শোয়ানো হয়, মাথাটা একটা বোর্ডে ঠেকিয়ে, এরকম দুখানা বোর্ড আছে দেখতে পাচ্ছ, একটা ভার্টিক্যাল দুখানা বোর্ড আছে, এমন একটা হরিজন্টাল বোর্ড আছে। সো বাচ্চাটা মাথাটা ঠেকানো হয় in one vertical board, the other horizontal board is pushed against the feet of the children. ঠিক আছে, keeping the children in a horizontal position. Okay, and here there is a scale, that scale reading is then taken. আবার বলছি, এগুলো না দেখলে বুঝতে পারবে না, I shall try to share some videos if possible. এগুলো ডিপার্টমেন্টে আছে, দেখে নিতে হবে। With the help of this you can measure the length of the child, right? The fourth thing is measuring the mid upper arm circumference of the child. So mid upper arm circumference is an age independent measurement of a child's anthropometry. So remember, the child is সবই age dependent, only mid upper arm circumference is age independent. Okay, so what is the idea? You are trying to measure the midpoint of the arm. You are trying to measure the circumference of the midpoint of the arm. So what is the logic? Anyone? জানো কি কেউ?
সে প্রোটিন নিউট্রিশনাল স্ট্যাটাস চেক করার জন্য।
Okay, so লজিকটা কেন, মানে why suddenly mid upper arm circumference? Okay, so this part contains both muscle and fat, right? Now you are trying to measure the muscle mass. Okay, so তুমি MUSC measure করলে you won't know whether you are measuring the muscle or the fat, right? So what you are doing is you are taking an age where the MUSC is a good measurement of the body muscle content or the body protein content. So that age is 6 months to 5 years. Please note that very carefully. That age is 6 months to 5 years. Below 6 months, you do not need to measure MUSC. Above 5 years, it makes no sense, because below 6 months, the fat is so much high that uh, it will not be reflecting the muscle mass, and above 5 years, the muscle is so much high that it will be not be reflective of the protein content of the body. Okay, so remember these points very carefully. So only 6 months to 5 years you have to measure MUSC. And how do you measure? You take the midpoint between the oligoclonal process and the K1. কি কি midpoint নেওয়া হয় সারফেস মার্কিং এ করেছ? Anyone? ওকে, তোমার কিছুই উত্তর না দিলে তো খুব মুশকিল। আচ্ছা, so you are taking the shoulder tip and the oligoclonal process, and then you take the midpoint of that, and then you measure the girth of that area. If it is below 12.5 centimeter, you will say that there is severe malnutrition of the undernutrition of the child. If it is between 12.5 and 13.5, you will say that there is moderate, and above 13.5, you will say that the child is normal. So remember the measurements. Okay, so this is the process of measuring, and remember the measurements. The last measurement I would like to say is the measurement of the waist hip ratio. So waist hip ratio is not measured in case of children, it is measured in only case of adults. Now I am trying to tell you the logic. So listen to this very carefully. In adults, do you know the how to measure the overweight status of the body or the underweight status of the body? Do you know the measurement? This you have to tell, because this you know. How can we measure the anthropometry or the nutritional status of an adult? What is the index?
Body mass index.
Body mass index. So how is that measured?
Is the weight in kg by the height in meter squared.
Very good. So what's your name?
Nilarko.
Here go. Thank you. So it is weight in kg by height in meter square. Okay. So you have to take the person's weight in kg, take his height in meter, square that, and divide the weight by the height in meter square. So can anyone tell me what is the cutoff for BMI for underweight?
Sir, 5th percentile.
BMI না, পার্সেন্টাইল দিয়ে এখন হিসেব হবে না, ঠিক
Sir,
আছে?
18.5.
ভেরি গুড। কি নাম? ও নাম বলবে না, ঠিক আছে। So it should be below 18.5 to mark that person as underweight. And can you tell me what is the cutoff for marking the person as overweight?
22.9.
এইখানটাতে আমি বলার চেষ্টা করছি যে
24.9.
তোমরা তোমরা 22.9 if you are কাছে 23 তুমি যদি বলো, it is correct, but there are two criteria here. The first criteria is the global criteria, which is by WHO. The second criteria is the Southeast Asian criteria. Okay, so you have to remember both of these criteria because we are in Southeast Asia. Now, what does this BMI measure? This BMI measures the body fat percentage. It is supposed to measure how much obese a person is, it will not try to measure the bone, the muscle mass, etc. So it will try to measure the body fat percentage. Okay. So can you directly measure the body fat percentage by any machine? Do you know that? If anybody has got some experience with going to a very sophisticated weight loss center, there is a machine there. They will tell you your body fat percentage. Okay. I do not know the correctness of that, but you can actually measure the body fat percentage by a machine known as DEXA scan. You can measure the body fat percentage. You can even see the distribution of fat in the body. So, which kind of fat is bad for you? Like, is it the fat that is distributed throughout the body, or is it the central fat that is distributed? What is your idea? What is the fat that is bad for you?
Central fat.
Excellent. So, who is this?
Orunabo.
Orunavo. Thank you, Orunavo. So, it is the central fat that is bad for you, or the central obesity, or the central adiposity, the fat that remains in your visceral parts. Why is this bad for you? Anyone? You have learned in biochemistry, I think. Also, pathology you have learned, right? So you can tell this. Why is the central obesity bad for you? Okay, so it is bad for you because in these fats we have some tissues which are insulin resistant. This fat causes insulin resistance, and insulin resistance causes what?
High blood sugar level.
It causes no. You cannot say high blood sugar level. You are now fourth year MBBS students, so you have to say
Type
it
2
causes
diabetes
type 2 diabetes mellitus, not even diabetes mellitus. It causes type 2 diabetes mellitus, that is caused by insulin resistance. So insulin resistance, the thing is that why the sugar level increases, because the insulin is the hormone that helps the sugar to enter the peripheral tissues for utilization of the sugar. So if insulin resistance is there, then even if insulin level is high, the sugar will not be able to enter the peripheral tissues because they are not sensitive to the effects of insulin. So in that case, the sugar levels of the body will be high and it will cause all sorts of problems. Okay, so this is type 2 diabetes mellitus. Now you can measure waist hip ratio. How? The idea is you are trying to measure your central obesity. So the point I was trying to make that if you compare Western population and Southeast Asian population, even if the person have got same BMI, suppose the BMI is 24 for a person from Western population known as John and the person from Southeast Asian population known as Samir. Okay, so even if John and Samir have same BMI, Samir will be having more central obesity and he will be having more insulin resistance and he will be having more chances of having diabetes mellitus and he will be having more chances of stroke or ischemic heart diseases. So got my point. So in both the population, if even if the BMI is fine, the distribution of fat for that Eastern person or Sami will be high, and so his chance of having diabetes mellitus will be higher, and chance of having cardiovascular disease will also be higher. So that's why whatever is the cutoff of BMI for overweight in Western population is 25. More than 25, you will call the person as overweight in the global criteria. But we have reduced that cutoff for the Southeast Asian region. We have reduced the cutoff to 23. The other difference is that in the global criteria, after 25, you say the person is overweight. You do not mark that person as obese, and you shall mark the person as obese only after the weight is more than 30. BMI is more than 30. But in case of Southeast Asian population, if the weight is more BMI is more than 23, you will directly mark that person as obese. So we are having a much more higher risk of cardiovascular disease and insulin resistance than Western population. And that is evident also because you will see very young persons suddenly having a cardiovascular disease and suddenly being admitted to as for AMI. Okay, because like I myself has got many friends who had AMI at the age of 35, even 30. Okay, and you can also see Shourav Ganguly, such a fit person, and suddenly that person has AMI, right? So this is the problem with our genetic makeup because of our more chance of having uh, insulin resistance. So is this clear? Is this point clear with you? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's clear with you. Uh, Fine. So from now onwards, what I shall be doing, I shall be telling a roll number and asking you to answer because I think most of you have gone to sleep by this time. Okay, so I think that will be a better idea, right? So you will measure the waist hip ratio. How will you measure the waist ratio? It is the again you will take 2 points: the upper point of the iliac crest and the lowest point of the rib cage, and you will measure the point between these 2 points, and you will take the girth of the waist at that point. So waist is basically what? Waist is basically বাংলা যেটা ভুঁড়ি বলা হয় সেটাই হচ্ছে waist. Okay, and you will measure the hip at the broadest point of the hip. If you have got a fat pass, অনেক টাকা নিয়ে ঘুরে বেড়াচ্ছ বা মোবাইল ফোন আছে, obviously the hip measurement will not be okay. So for measuring both the waist and the hip, it will be better if you take out the like things in your pocket and then measure. Okay, so then you will take the ratio of waist and hip, and it will be less than zero point 0.9 for males and 0.85 for females. So remember this cutoff. It will be less than zero point 0.9 for males and 0.85 for females. If it is more than that, you will say that the person has got central obesity. Right? So my question now is for rule number 65, Lokesh.
Yes, sir.
Lokesh, tell me what is the BMI of a person whose weight is 78 kgs and height is 74 centimeter.
Sir, can you please repeat the stats?
Okay, so what is the BMI of a person whose weight is 74 kgs, weight is 72 kgs, and height is 174 centimeter? 72 kg weight and height is 172 centimeter. All of you calculate, but Lokesh will answer. Lokesh,
Sir, 23.78.
very good. It's 23.78. So, do you call this person as a overweight or a obese person or a normal person?
Sir, if it is in southeastern Asia, then we will say him as obese. But in global
Very good.
criteria, we will not.
Very good. Very good. Fine. So, thank you, Lokesh. All of you can give him some applause. And okay. So now I shall ask Shayoni Halda, roll number 109. Shayoni Halda, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, fine. So Shayoni, we are talking of a person whose whose waist is 90 centimeter and whose hip is 100 centimeter. Okay. So what is his waist hip ratio and will that call you as normal or not? It is a male person.
0.9.
9. So
If he is male, then it is 0.9, and if it's female, then 0.8 meter will be normal.
0.85. Okay, fine, fine. So thank you, Shayoni. You can give her a
Thank you, sir.
applause. Okay. So now, after this first part, whether after we have discussed about the measurements of different individuals, different anthropometric measures, I shall now continue with the children, because in the children, in the adults, you see there are some cutoffs, definite 0.85, 0.9, and also in BMI there are also cutoffs. So for all these things, uh, for all these things, you see that it is not depending on the age of the person, right? But now, when we shall be talking about children, it will be always depending on the age of the person. So for that, we need to have growth charts. Otherwise, it is impossible to remember the normal age for each and every age group, right? Also, what I have to tell that there are some empirical formula which you will know in pediatrics about trying to guess the weight, and when you are experienced, you will more or less be able to guess the weight. But all this empirical formula has been uh, made on growth of Western children. Okay, so this will not hold true for whatever the growth tendency of these our children are. Okay, so it is best to look at the growth chart and then plot the weight and then come to any conclusion. So always try to use the growth chart, right? So now I will ask Saurabh to discuss about the types of growth chart in children and their uses. So over to you, Saurabh.
Can you share the slide?
Okay, I shall allow you to share the slide. Wait.
স্যার কোনো অপশন আসছে না।
Wait. Saurabh, wait.
ওকে স্যার।
Saurabh, you will be able to share your slides now, right?
ওকে স্যার।
Yes, you are visible. But you are not audible now, Saurabh. Please allow rotation in the phone and do it in the landscape mode. Saurabh, you are not audible.
হ্যালো।
Yes, no, you are not now audible. Yes.
নাও হ্যালো। হ্যাঁ,
Yes.
গুড মর্নিং
Please,
এভরিওয়ান।
please put. Okay, fine. It is now visible. Perfect. Right. Continue.
Already we have learned how to take the measurements like height, weight, A to Z, etc. Actually, the parts of anthropometry. Now we are going to know the application of this. Like we are not taking any only height, only weight. We are using the compound index in the growth charts. Now this is the growth charts. Are primarily designed
Saurabh, you are not audible.
Center for Now,
সৌরভ ইউ আর নট অডিবল।
hello.
হ্যাঁ, নেট কানেকশনটা ঠিকঠাক আসছে না, তুই
Okay, sir.
একটু কেটে যাচ্ছে কথা।
এবার এবার
না, অডিবল না। Hello, you are not audible. You are like voice is breaking. সৌরভ তাহলে পরে চেষ্টা করিস, এখন ছাড়, ঠিক আছে?
hello.
হ্যাঁ, এখন ঠিক আছে।
Now, okay.
না
Now
না,
the coming, তাহলে স্যার অর্চিতাকে একটু কন্টিনিউ করে।
হ্যাঁ, অর্চিকে কন্টিনিউ করতে বলছি। ওকে, ফাইন। So please stop sharing. Orchita, please continue. There are some net problems with Saurabh. Orchita,
Sir,
please continue.
আর পার্টটা কন্টিনিউ করব?
হ্যাঁ, তুই কন্টিনিউ কর। হ্যাঁ,
আমার স্ক্রিনটা দেখা যাচ্ছে?
হ্যাঁ, তুই ইয়ে করে দে, ফুল স্ক্রিন করে দে, দেখা যাচ্ছে। I shall come to the children later. Okay.
Okay, sir. So now let us discuss first how to measure growth in adolescents and adults. We will come to the measurement of growth in children after this part. Now, for measuring the growth in adolescent, we need to know BMI for age and according to the WHO multicentric growth reference survey chart. Now, you will get to know about the MGRS chart later on. So, first step is to calculate the BMI. Now, for calculation of BMI, we have already discussed. The formula is weight in kg divided by square of the height in square meter. Remember this, for calculation of BMI, we need to calculate the height in the form of square meter. Okay. So, remember this. Okay. This is the growth chart, WHO growth chart for girls. First, you have to identify the growth chart whether it is for girls or boys. If the color of the growth chart is pink, then it is for girls, and for boys, the color of the growth chart is blue in color. Now, this is the growth chart for the age 5 to 19 years. Now, in the x-axis, we have age in completed months and years, and along the y-axis, we have the BMI. Now, these lines inside the growth chart are the lines for interpretation. Now, the middle line, green in color, that is this one, is the normal curve, and the line above the green line, that is the yellow line, and there is a line below the green line, that is the pink line. Now, this range is the normal range, and below this pink line there is thinness, and another line there is which is black in color, and above the yellow line there is overweight and obesity, and it is the line is red in color. Now, how to plot the value in this graph? Okay, so first we have to plot the age in months or age in completed years. Suppose we have a girl whose age is 14 years. So first we have to find this 14. The line, the vertical line represents the we will plot the age along the vertical line. Okay, now this is the vertical line where we will plot the age, and suppose the BMI of that girl is 22. So here we have the line of 22. So here we will plot. Now these two lines, the point where these two lines intersect, that is this point, at the point of age and point of BMI. So here we will get our value. Now, between the yellow line and the pink line, this is the normal part. So we have a girl who is normal. Now, if we get a point here, somewhere here, then we will consider the girl as overweight. So this is the BMI for age in case of girls. Now, similarly, we have BMI for age in boys. The color blue will indicate this is the growth chart for boys, and similarly it is for 5 to 19 years. Along the x-axis we have age in months and completed years, and along the y-axis we have BMI. So similarly we will also plot here. All the curves are also present here. Now anthropometric measurement for adult persons. In case of adult persons, first we have to make a table like this. We have to write the name, then height in centimeter. Remember, while measuring the height we have to keep it in centimeter, but in case of BMI we have to make it in meter. Then we will have weight, then we will measure the BMI, then we will put waist circumference and waist hip ratio. As we have already discussed, so this is the classification of BMI for adults. Here underweight is less than 18.5, normal range is from 18.5 to 24.99, overweight is more than equals to 25, pre-obese is 25 to 29.99, obese 1 is 30.00 to 34.99, obese 2 is 35.00 to 39.99, obese 3 is more than equals to 40. So we have already discussed how to measure the waist circumference. Let us recap it. Measured waist circumference is measured at the midpoint between the lower margin of the last palpable rib and the top of the iliac crest, and it is measured using a stretch resistant tape. And for hip circumference, it is measured around the widest portion of the buttocks with the tape parallel to the floor. Now, abdominal obesity according to WHO, if the waist hip ratio for males is more than 0.90 and for females if it is more than 0.85. So, here we complete our part for measurement of adolescents and adults.
Okay, thank you, Urchita, for the nice deliberation. Okay, so I will now request Monisha to continue with the presentation, and after that I shall come to the children growth charts. Monisha, are you there?
Sir, I will say the interpretation of the children growth chart, sir. Interpretation and how to plot.
Absolutely,
Okay,
you have
sir.
to tell that. Okay,
Okay, sir.
right.
Sir, can we share
Because
it from
Saurabh was
phone,
not,
sir?
you can share it from phone. Yes, no problems. But put the phone in the landscape mode. Okay, so the slides will be
Okay, sir.
visible better.
Okay, sir. Sir, share screen, sir.
Yes, share screen.
Hello, sir.
Yes, tell me.
Sir, I have to do the share screen, sir, or
Yes,
share
you have
the
to do the share
photo. Okay,
share
sir. Okay,
screen.
sir. Okay, sir.
মনসা গ্রুপ চ্যাটের পিকটাই তো শেয়ার করবে
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ
হ্যাঁ,
গ্রুপ চ্যাটের
আমি করে দেবো
হ্যাঁ তুমি করে দাও তুমি করে দাও better হবে।
okay, Monisha, you can continue.
Yes, sir. It is not visible, sir.
It is visible now. It is visible. দেখতে পাচ্ছিস তো?
না স্যার, আমি দেখতে পাচ্ছি না।
বাকিরা কিন্তু দেখতে পাচ্ছে।
ওকে স্যার, আমি কন্টিনিউ করছি অর্ণবদা যেটা বলেছে ওটা।
দেখতে পাচ্ছ মনীষা, দেখতে পাচ্ছ?
না, আমি দেখতে পাচ্ছি না, বাট ওইটা শেয়ার
কেন?
করেছো তো যেটা আমাকে বলেছিলে?
তোমাকে গ্রুপে যে ছবিটা দিয়েছি ওটাই তাহলে
হ্যাঁ।
শেয়ার করছি।
ঠিক আছে, ঠিক আছে, ঠিক আছে। Okay. Am I audible to all? Okay. I will talk
Arnab-
about the. Yes, sir.
অর্ণব প্লিজ ফুল স্ক্রিন করে দাও। অর্ণব ফুল স্ক্রিন করে দাও। অর্ণব ফুল স্ক্রিন করে দাও স্লাইডটা।
স্যার ফুল স্ক্রিন করা ছিল স্যার, একবার করছি দেখা যাচ্ছে না স্যার, একটু বলবেন?
আরেকবার শেয়ার করো তো, শেয়ার অফ করে। শেয়ার স্ক্রিন করো, শেয়ার স্ক্রিন করে ফুল স্ক্রিন করে দাও। শেয়ার স্ক্রিন করবে, ঠিক আছে?
স্যার এবার এসেছে?
এসছে, ফুল স্ক্রিন করে দাও এবার। মনীষা দেখতে পাচ্ছিস এবার?
স্যার ফুল স্ক্রিন হয়েছে?
ফুল স্ক্রিন হচ্ছে না, না। ঠিক আছে,
ফুল স্ক্রিন করে দিচ্ছি।
শেয়ার স্ক্রিন করেছো তো? শেয়ার
হ্যাঁ,
স্ক্রিন
স্যার।
অপশন। আচ্ছা,
আবার করছি।
এবার হয়েছে অর্ণব। এবার ফুল স্ক্রিন করো, এবার হয়ে যাবে। হ্যাঁ, পারফেক্ট। মনীষা দেখতে পাচ্ছিস?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, হ্যাঁ স্যার।
ভেরি গুড, ব্যাস চলো start.
Okay. So what we can see, this is the growth chart, ICDS growth chart, and here the color we cannot see properly, as Orchita said that if blue, then it is for male child, and it is the color for pink, and this is female child. And as it is discussed, it is a tool for assessing and monitoring the growth of a child. And the index that is used in the growth chart, that is weight for age index. The weight of the child when it comes at a particular age, that should be measured. And the growth curve is, we will get some points at some particular ages. Like if the child come at 1 month, he will get a point for an age. If it comes at 2, we will get a second. And if we can get a curve, which is called a growth. So at that left corner, the topmost corner, we can see 3 boxes. In the first box, there is name, parent's name, and the birth date. We have to mention all of that. Then that if straight is not good at all, it is dangerous. And if the curve it is downward, then it is very dangerous. So we have to plot the point, make the curve.
Ma'am, cannot hear you.
Ma'am, you're not audible.
So it is not properly visible. Yes, yes.
Ma'am, you are not
মনীষা
audible.
মাঝে মাঝে ভয়েস ব্রেক করছে খুব। মানে একটু যেখানে বেটার নেট কানেকশন আছে চলে যেতে পারবি? মানে ভয়েস ব্রেক করছে মাঝে মধ্যে।
Is it audible now?
স্টুডেন্টস বলো।
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So the growth curve, you can see what we can see in this growth chart, that the first point is in the red zone. I think it is in the red zone. Okay. Then the second point is in the yellow zone, and afterwards the points are in the green zone. So what does it mean? Red zone, yellow zone, and green zone. Red zone means that is severely underweight child. It is less than -3 SD. The yellow zone means moderately underweight, and it is between -2 SD to -3 SD. And green zone means normal weight. That is normal weight for age for the child. So red and yellow both are dangerous. If the baby's weight fall in the green zone, that is only normal or above the green zone. Yellow and red both are dangerous. Red indicates severely underweight and yellow moderately underweight. And how can we take the weight? Suppose for a newborn, we have to take the weight of the newborn as early as or within 2 days. This first line, what we can see, that is the line for the birth weight measurement. And children up to 3 years and 5 years, we have to take the risk. And for 3 to 5 years, for every 3 months. Yeah. So if you can, in the x like 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the years. And in the y-axis, this is the weight in kg. So if the
মনীষা আবার 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 কেটে যাচ্ছে। মনীষা আবার কেটে যাচ্ছে। একটু স্টেবল ইন্টারনেট কানেকশনের জায়গায় যা, আবার কেটে যাচ্ছে।
it's very easy to talk. But what happens if the child forgets to come at 1 month, every month? Suppose a 1-year-old child
Ma'am, your voice is not clearly audible.
মনীষা আবার ব্রেক করছে রে। হ্যালো অর্ণব।
Yes, sir.
ওকে
Disconnected.
হ্যাঁ মনীষা ডিসকানেক্টেড হয়ে গেছে, নেট কানেকশন প্রবলেম হচ্ছে বোধ হয়। তুমি শেয়ারিং স্টপ করে একটু ওকে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ করে দাও, ঠিক আছে?
Yes, sir.
আমি তাহলে করিয়ে দিচ্ছি এটা, ঠিক আছে? এটা
Yes, sir.
মানে নেট কানেকশন এত প্রবলেম থাকলে খুব মুশকিল।
Yes, sir.
একটু হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ করে দাও। তুমি শেয়ারিং স্টপ করে দাও, আমি তাহলে করে দিচ্ছি বাকিটা।
Yes.
অর্ণব আমি তাহলে করাচ্ছি, তারপর তুমি এক্সারসাইজটা করিও, ঠিক আছে? আমি তাহলে পড়িয়ে দিচ্ছি ওদের। ওকে
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
হ্যালো স্যার ডিসকানেক্টেড হয়ে গিয়েছিলাম স্যার।
হ্যাঁ না মানে মনীষা বলছি যে মানে আমি করিয়ে দিচ্ছি বাকিটা, নেটের প্রবলেম বুঝতে পারছি, ঠিক আছে? একটু শোন, আর যদি কোনো অ্যাড করতে হয় তাহলে বলে দিস, ঠিক আছে? আমি তাহলে মানে করাচ্ছি তাহলে ওদের। ওকে Am I visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So is my screen visible now, right?
Yes, sir.
ফাইন সো এখানে অনেকগুলো নেটওয়ার্ক প্রবলেম হচ্ছে আমি পুরো ব্যাপারটা আবার তোমাদের বলছি বিকজ দিস এ ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট পার্ট সো লিসেন টু মি ভেরি কেয়ারফুলি what the growth chart has been done is that অনেকগুলো এজ গ্রুপের আছে রাইট এইবার ধরো there is a growth chart for 0 to 6 months of age. What the scientists have done is for each age group, suppose for 2 months age group, for 2 months 1 day age group, for each very small age group, they have recruited a large number of children. They have taken the children in such a manner that these children are standardized. So what is that? These children are not born low birth weight. These children are having exclusive breastfeeding, and there are some factors by which they have been able to decide on the recruitment of the children. And for each of them, they have taken the median value and the plus minus 2 standard deviations of the median. You had your class on biostatistics, right, by Dr. Tiwari?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So they have taken the median value and plus minus 2 standard deviations. And then what they have done is that according to the age, they have plotted like this: age versus weight. Age in x-axis, weight in y-axis. So for each age, they have plotted the median plus 1 standard deviation, plus 2 standard deviation, minus 1 standard deviation, minus 2 standard deviation. For each of the age, they have plotted this. And when you have plotted all the ages like this, then a curve like this will come. So you can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 zones. Among these 6 zones, you can erase this minus 1 standard deviation part. So how many zones are there now? Hello?
Four zones.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 zones. Now add to this the 3 SD parts. So it will be something like this. Sorry. So this is your median. This is plus 2 SD. This is minus 2 SD. This is plus 3 SD. This is minus 3 SD. Okay. So anything between these two zones in all the charts is normal. So what is this zone? Between plus minus 2 SD in all the growth charts are normal. Got my point? In all the growth charts between plus minus 2 SD it is normal. In all the growth charts between plus 2 SD and plus 3 SD or minus 2 SD and minus 3 SD it is moderate, something moderate. And in all the growth charts minus 3 SD and plus 3 SD it is severe, something severe. Is this very clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if up to this it is clear, then we can discuss the next part of the growth charts. Okay. So listen to me very carefully. There are three charts that are used for children. There are three charts that are used for children. The first chart is weight for age, where you see the underweight or overweight status of the child. The first chart is weight for age. The second chart is height or length for age. So what will you see here? Will you see the weight of the child here or what? Whether the height of the child is short or not, whether there is stunting or not. So weight for age, you will look for underweight and overweight. Height or length for age, you will see stunting or not. And weight for height. So you will look for wasting of the child or
Wasting.
not. So there are three classifications. One is weight for age. You will see underweight or overweight. Then there is length or height for age. You will see stunting or not. And the third part is weight for height. You will see wasting or not. Is this absolutely clear to you?
Sir, can you please repeat the weight for height portion?
Right, right. So there are three kinds of charts. You have already measured the weight and height. You have measured the weight of the child. You have measured the height of the child or length of the child, and you know the age of the child. There is a misconception that you take weight for height when you do not know the age. It is not the only reason. You take the weight for height because you want to see wasting. Wasting means that suppose there are two children, and in one children there is loss of muscle mass and loss of subcutaneous fats. So that child is wasted. Okay, wasting is one of the symptoms of malnutrition. So you want to see wasting. So weight for age, you are looking for underweight or overweight. Height for age, you are looking at stunting. You are not much bothered about excess height. You are not bothered about that. Okay. And weight for height, you are bothered about wasting. You are again not bothered about excess weight for height. But weight for age, you are bothered about both excess and low weight for heights. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, so in a growth chart, what are the things you are supposed to do? Firstly, when you know the height, weight, and length of the child and age of the child, you plot the weight accordingly. So suppose you know the age is 1 year, weight is 10 kgs. So you get a point here, right? So suppose this point lies within the plus minus 2st. So in that case, you will say that the weight of the child is normal at that point. The weight for age of the child is normal at that point. But do you think a single measurement is okay, or Do you think a continuous measurement is required? What do you think?
Continuous measurement.
Why?
Regular assessment হবে একটা one time assessment এর থেকে।
What is the problem with one-time assessment? What is the problem with one-time assessment? তুমি তো জানো না যে ও স্টার্টিং এ কেমন ছিল। ধরো স্টার্টিং এ ওর ওয়েটটা ছিল একেবারে -3 তলায়, এখনো আস্তে আস্তে করে এসে -2 আর -3 মধ্যে চলে এসছে। তাহলে তো সেটা ভালো, সেটা তো খারাপ না। কিন্তু তুমি যদি তখন জাস্ট মেজার করো, আগের ওয়েট গুলো না দেখো, তুমি বলবো ওটা খারাপ। ইট ইজ বিটুইন -2 অ্যান্ড -3। আমি আবার বলছি এটা, দিস ইজ ভেরি ইম্পর্টেন্ট পার্ট। মিডিয়ান +2SD, -2SD, -3SD, +3SD। স্টার্টিং এ ধরো সে এখানটাতে ছিল -3SD তলায়, এখন সে আস্তে আস্তে করে এখানে এসে গেছে। তার মানে সেটা তো ভালো, সে সিভিয়ার ছিল, সে মডারেট হয়ে গেছে, তাই তো? কিন্তু তুমি যদি এই পার্টটা না দেখো, শুধু এই পার্টটা দেখো, তাহলে ইউল বি আন্ডার দ্য মিসকনসেপশন যে ও মডারেট আছে, সুতরাং দ্যাট ইজ ব্যাড। সো ফর গ্রোথ চার্ট, only a cross-sectional value is not enough. You are required to see the entire trajectory of the growth. You are required to see the entire trajectory of the growth. So আমি তোমাদের গ্রোথ চার্ট গুলোর দেখাচ্ছি একবার, তারপরে হাউ টু প্লট দ্য গ্রোথ চার্ট আমি সেটা শিখিয়ে দিচ্ছি। ওকে, আসলে তোমাদের পিজিডি দাদারা অনেক খাটাখাটনি করে, মানে দাদা এবং দিদিরা তৈরি করেছিল, কিন্তু নেট কানেকশনটা খুব পুয়ার আসছে, ওর জন্য আমাকে কন্টিনিউ করতে হচ্ছে। জাস্ট ওয়েট।
Sir, are you showing anything?
না আমি শেয়ার করছি। ওকে, দেখা যাচ্ছে তো এখন?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, দেখা যাচ্ছে।
ওকে ফাইন। সো এখানটাতে দেখো যে এটা আমি বেসিক্যালি ডাব্লিউজি ডকুমেন্টটা থেকে নিয়েছি। ক্যান ইউ সি দিস চার্ট নাও? হ্যালো,
হ্যাঁ স্যার, দেখা যাচ্ছে।
Yes, sir.
ওকে দেখা যাচ্ছে তো? So this is the weight for age. So both boys and girls have different standards. So you can go to the WHO site and have a look at the charts. Okay, you search for MGRS, multi-centric growth reference studies, MGRS WHO growth charts, and they will give you a lot of growth charts. Okay, so it is birth to 6 months of Z scores. I mean, Z score percentile on the Ashina, it will be more complicated for you. And it is for boys. Boys and girls have different charts. So as Dr. Monisha was trying to mention that we have modified the charts according to our own needs, and we shall be using the ICDS charts. I shall come to that later. So this is the WHO chart. You can see the curves are there for 1 standard deviation, 2 standard deviation, 3 standard deviation. Okay, and you can see something is written in the right hand side. Child weight for ages below the 2 standard deviation is underweight. So it is moderate, if we'll say it is underweight. And if it is below -3 standard deviation, it is severely underweight. Clinical signs of marasmus or kwashiorkor or protein energy malnutrition can be observed. Okay, so below -2 is underweight, below -3 is severely underweight. At the same time, I would like to mention that if the weight of the child is more than +3 ST, then we shall term the child as obese. And if it is -2 ST but below 2 ST, it is overweight. Okay. So this is the boys chart, and the girls chart interpretation is the same. Now, for length for age, birth to 6 months. If the child's weight is below -2 ST, then he is stunted. Remember this term very carefully, is stunted. And it is below 3 ST, it is severely stunted. So -2 ST is stunted, -3 is severely stunted. We are not much bothered about the what should I say, excess height. We are only bothered about the less heights, stunting and severe stunting. This is length for age of boys. It is length for age because till 6 months of age, you will not get the height of any children because they shall not be able to stand, right? So it is length for age. Weight for age I have discussed. Weight for length. So weight for length, if it is below -2 SG, he is wasted, and if he is below 3 SG, he is severely wasted. So remember this. Length for age is stunting, severe stunting. Weight for age is underweight, severely underweight. Weight for length is wasting, severe wasting, and overweight or obese. Okay. So again, there is something known as BMI for boys. You do not have to remember this, but just remember that there is another growth chart known as BMI for boys. See, in the adult age group, the BMI for boys in this chart, BMI for the like adults, there was no classification like for boys, for girls, or for ladies and for gents. There was no such classification. But for here, there is classification because they will change according to the sex, and also they will change according to the age of the particular children. But for adults, there is no change with age. So it is age independent criteria. Okay. So again, you see here the changes in the length for age boys. It is 6 months to 12 to 2 years. Can you see that? It is 6 months to 2 years. So the previous was 0 to 6 months. Now it is 6 months to 2 years. Okay. Now it is birth to 2 years. Now it is 2 to 5 years. So it has got different chart for different age groups. 0 to 6 months, 6 months to 2 years, 2 to 5 years, etc. Okay. So now you think that in this handout I have tried to give all the things together. So now you think that if a particular person have to see the growth trajectory of a child, then he has to carry all these charts: 0 to 6 months, 6 months to 2 years, 2 to 5 years for boys and girls. He has to carry a lot of charts. So for that, because you, as you have already mentioned, that we are using the Anganwadi workers for like measuring the growth. So we have to make a compensation. And what is that compensation? We have to we have clubbed the entire weight into as 0 to 5 years. That is what Dr. Monisha was trying to show you. We have clubbed the entire weight to be 0 to 5 years. Okay, am I visible now? Hello?
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay. So they have clubbed the entire weight into 0 to 5 years, and we only take the weight for age, because we will not measure stunting or we shall not measure wasting. We shall only measure weight for age. So in this 0 to 5 years growth chart, this is the ICDS growth chart. This is found in your department. There are 3 zones. We have made this chart extremely easy to do. So the upper line is the median. The upper line is the median. This line of the upper line of the green zone is the median. The border between the green and the yellow zone is your minus 2st. The border between the yellow and the red zone is minus 3st. So we cannot measure overweight from this chart. We cannot measure overweight from this chart. We can only measure underweight because we do not have plus 2st, right? As we do not have plus 2st, that is why we cannot measure overweight from this chart. We can only measure underweight. That is one very important question, because we cannot measure plus 2sts. And the other thing is that the zones have been colored. So if it is green zone, then everything is fine. If it is yellow zone, then something is bad, it needs follow up. If it is red zone, then immediate referral is required. So if we have divided the chart into these following zones. Is it clear with you, all of you? The students, please answer.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And also we have got pink charts for girls and blue charts for boys. We have done this because of the reason that usually girls like pink and boys like blue. If you do a survey among yourself, we will be able to find this better. So that's why pink charts for girls, blue chart for boys. We have divided the charts into 3 zones: green, green, yellow, and red. Green is median to minus 2st, yellow is minus 2st, green is yes, minus 2 to minus 3st, and red is less than minus 3st. So green means nothing to worry. Yellow means regular follow-up, something alarming is going on. Red is very bad. At the same time, I would like to tell you that we shall also have to look at the trajectory of growth. I am trying to draw this chart. So you know that in the ICDS growth chart, you do not have this, right? You only have the median minus 2SD minus CSD. And I'm trying to color now. This is red, this is yellow, this is green, right? So this is a very rough drawing. So we shall look at the trajectory of growth. So if the child is growing like this, you are measuring the growth every month. If the child is growing like this, then he is in the road to health. We call this as road to health. The growth of the child is going in a proper manner. Okay, he can be even like this. We won't bother about that. But if the child's growth is like this, I have to again erase this part. If the child's growth is like this, so he's improving. He was previously in red, now he is in yellow, now he is going into green. Suppose there is a dip. So this dip is dangerous. So suddenly the growth of the child has started faltering. So this dip is dangerous. Again, if there is a flattening means he is going to enter from the green to the yellow zone soon. So again, that is dangerous. So yeah, a dip in the growth curve or a flattening is dangerous. After a dip, it can be like again growth. So that is good. But if it continues dipping, you have to refer it to a higher center because there may be some problems in the child. Is the interpretation of growth chart fine with you, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have got the data of growths for the children in UTC. You will plot it in the chart and interpret it yourself. You will see that the dip usually occurs for things like a sudden episode of an ARI or a diarrhea, something like that. A dip occurs and then it usually recovers again because if the feeding of the child is normal, it will recover again. But sometimes there is persistent dip or flattening. Can you tell me three or four causes in which a previously normally growing child suddenly has a persistent dip or flattening? Can you tell me a few reasons? So one of these reasons is tuberculosis. Okay. If the child is having pediatric tuberculosis, then this persistent dip or flattening will occur. The other reasons are suppose the child is not being fed properly. Suppose after the complementary food or the weaning foods are not given properly to the child. So there can be flattening or dip persistently. The child may have some congenital heart abnormalities, congenital abnormalities for which there can be malnutrition of the child after some time. Okay, so you can remember these points as the causes of persistent fattening. Among them, the nutritional part is the most important. You will address the nutritional part first and then you will address the other parts. Okay, so this is the discussion about growth chart. There was a lot of technical difficulties. We are apologizing for that. Hope it has been clear to you now. Is it clear? Students, you can say by thumbs up or some emoji so that I know it is more or less clear to you. Okay, so I can see mostly these emojis. So I think growth chart is more or less clear to you and the anthropometrical measures. So now we shall do a fun exercise. So what is that exercise? I shall be allotting all of the students into 4 groups. There are 130 students. I shall be allotting you into 4 groups, and in each of the groups, one of the second year PGTs will be there. They shall be giving you some exercise. So Arnab, you can now take over and tell them the exercise.
Audible, sir?
Yes, you're audible. Arnab, are you there?
Yes, sir. আমি শেয়ার করছি। Is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Okay. Good morning, students. First of all, we will have a small recap of what we have done in our last class. Today, what we have done, we have learned how to take the history and how to calculate the family's requirement and the consumption. So let's have a very small recap. It will be an interactive session. So you will answer. I will give you some exercises and you will answer. First, what we have done, what we have learned last day, the first thing we have to do a detailed history taking about the diet. So any one of you can answer what are the how we take the history, what is the method? Anyone? Roll number 60. 60 is absent. Roll number 65.
Just wait, they are not absent. They are not replying. Just wait. Roll number 60, Kahini Paja. Please unmute yourself. Roll number 60, Kahini Paja. So I shall mark you as absent because you are not here. Okay. Roll number 65, Lokesh Dhariwal. Please
Yes, sir.
unmute yourself. Okay. So please tell sir what he is asking.
What is the
Yes, sir.
method? How we take the dietary survey or history from a family, from the respondent?
Lokesh, he's asking about how to take the diet history.
Yeah, sir. Last 24-hour diet is to be asked
Yes,
from the
yes,
patient.
very good. Last 24-hour recall method.
Recall
24-hour
history.
recall method. In interview method, right? So in
Yes, sir.
last 24 usually we take from 10 from in the morning 8 a.m. Yes, previous day 8 a.m. morning up to the present day 8 a.m. morning. We take all the detailed history, and then what is the most important part? To make a list of all food items. Before going to any calculation, first take the detailed history what they have taken, then list out all the food items. Like they have taken rice or they have roti, in that case wheat. They have taken fruits. What are the fruits? They have taken vegetables. What are the vegetables? Make a list of all the food items. Now you can easily go to the calculation part. Going to the calculation part, we have seen multiple tables by which using them we can do this calculation. This is the table, and in this table what tells us this table? Anyone? Roll number 35. What is this table for? Roll number 35. Roll number 35, are you there?
Roll number 35 is absent. I am asking for someone. Okay. So, just wait. Okay, roll number 155, Titash Pal. Please unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Okay, please tell what Aksar is asking.
Please tell us about this table. By using this table, what do we do?
So we record the last 24 hours diet, the food items, then the quantity and the
Exactly. This is the very good. This is the table for the dietary intake of the family, food group wise. Now we have already done the listing of the all food items. Now we are listing them as per the food group wise, right? So in case of cereals, we will write all the type of cereals they have consumed, right? It is rice or wheat or anything else. In case of pulses, we will write all the type of pulses, it's Bengal gram or Torka dal, anything. Whatever they have taken, we will write them. Now we will fill all the boxes, right? In the food item columns, we will write all the food items as per their food group. Suppose they have taken brinjal will come in the other vegetable group. Suppose they have taken any green leafy vegetables, we will write them in the green leafy vegetables group. And next to that, there is individual item-wise quantity. Suppose in cereals, they have taken rice and they have taken wheat. Now we will write individual item-wise quantity. For rice, we have write like that they have taken 350 gram. In case of wheat, we will write that they have taken 250 gram. Okay. And in the next column, we will get the total quantity. So using this table, we are getting the total quantity consumed by the family food group wise, right? Going to the next table. Anyone? What is this table about? What we do in this table?
If you ask anyone, nobody will answer. Okay, so
any roll number.
So any roll number you will want to ask or no?
Sir, 125.
125 এখন হয়ে গেল এক্ষুনি দাও দেখি
না স্যার
দেখছি $125 is not there, so I shall ask 124. Somnath Mukherjee, please unmute yourself. Somnath Mukherjee is probably gone to sleep. Okay, so 127. Soumitra Panda, please unmute yourself.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Soumitra is there. So Arnab.
Yes, sir. Soumitra, what is this table about? What we do in the table? Just give a small brief idea.
স্যার যে ফ্যামিলি যে খাবারটা খাচ্ছে লাস্ট 24 আওয়ার্সে ওটার ডিটেইলড নিউট্রিয়েন্ট ওয়াইজ মানে কত ক্যালোরি খাচ্ছে, কত গ্রামস নিচ্ছে, কার্বোহাইড্রেট, প্রোটিন, ফ্যাট, মানে ওই বেসিসে ডিভাইড করতে হবে খাবারটা।
Yes, very good, very good. What we do here, we will list all the food stuffs. Okay, please keep in mind it is not about food group wise. We are calculating nutrient wise all the food stuff. So we'll write all the food items and we'll write for that food item what is the quantity. Like we'll write food stuff first rice. For rice, what is the quantity? Suppose it is 350 gram. Then we will write for 350 gram how many calories are there, how many carbohydrates are there, how much protein is there, how much fat is there, like that. Okay. Now tell me, Soumitra, from where we will get this reference of this food stuff, nutrient wise food stuff, that means RDA. So from where we will get that chart? where RDA is given, it is from the Park's textbook. In the nutrition chapter, Park's textbook, we will get the required
recommended dietary allowance.
recommended dietary allowances. And here, we in this chart where we are calculating, it is total consumption, right? So using
Yes,
we have
sir.
two things. One is RDA in Park's textbook, and another is the PDF we have provided of the National Institute of Nutrition. In that PDF, it was given for
So your voice
for
is
100.
shattering in between.
অন্য ভয়েস ব্রেক করছে রে ভয়েস
Yes,
ব্রেক
sir.
করছে
Voice is shattering in between.
Okay, sir. I mean,
হুম
is it okay now?
ইট ইজ ওকে ইয়েস
Yes, sir.
So we need two reference here. One is the PDF book of National Institute of Nutrition, from where we will get the the amounts of for each food stuff, how much nutrients is there, and we will take help of the Park's textbook for the recommended dietary allowances. Right? Okay. Next table was this table. So anyone from roll number, suppose roll number 97. What do we do in this table? Roll number 97.
Yes, sir.
Yes. What do we do in this table?
Ramesh Gautam. Ramesh,
Yes.
what do you do with this table?
So here we list the age, sex, and type of work of the individual family members,
Very good.
and as per their physiological status, sir, the requirement of each type of food, sir, like cereals or millets and pulses, we list down them, sir, and we compare is their daily intake is as per the requirement, sir.
Very good. Very good. So what we are doing here, it is the table for calculation of the balance percentage of total requirement and total consumed, right? So we will calculate what is the total requirement, and we will calculate what is the total consumed, and we will get the balanced percentage, whether it is excess or whether it is less, right? So already we have seen, we have done the table number first table where we get the total consumed, and here we will calculate the total requirement, and for that we will as per serial number we will plot each and every member of the family as per their age, sex, and type of work, and we will write the physiological status, right? Then we will get according to the chart given in your family book. There is a chart given in your family book in multiple colors, where it has given that how a person, as per their physiological status, how much requirement of a person food group wise, right? So using that chart and using the calculation already we have done of total consumption, we will get the total balance percentage of total requirement and consumed in this chart, and it is food group wise. Okay. Then next table. Anyone? Roll number 47. Roll number 47.
Forty-seven is not there, so I shall ask 46. Dhriti Rai. Dhriti Rai, please unmute yourself. Yes, please.
Yes, Dhriti. What is this table about? What we do here?
Sir, the diet history of the whole family is taken, and the total requirement of the nutrients and then total consumed, it is compared, and the balance is then calculated.
Yes, very good, Dhriti. So it is as same as the previous table. The only difference is it is as per the nutrient wise, right? So as per the recommended dietary allowances, we will calculate here the balance percentage, whether it is excess or whether it is deficit, right? So already you have seen in the second chart that how much they have consumed food item wise, their nutrient value, how much they have consumed, and from the Park's textbook we can calculate here what is their requirement as per the RDA. So using both this calculation, we will get the balance percentage. Suppose they are taking excess protein or the deficit protein, but keep in mind in these two tables, these two tables, we will take the percentage, right? Very good. Now coming to the next, then what we do, we have done the table portion, we have completed all the tables, we have got the balance percentage as per the food group wise and the balance percentage nutrient wise. Now we will make two bar charts. Okay, one will be as per the balanced diet, that is food group wise, and other one will be as per the recommended dietary allowance, that is nutrient wise. Clear? Is that okay to everyone? Last day, that up to this portion we have done, and it was a small recap. Now we will have one small exercise.
Okay. Arnav, before the exercise, the thing is that I think Monisha and Saurabh's connection is not good. Okay.
Yes.
So what should we do? Should we break into two groups? Okay. We can do that with Orchita and you. That we can
Yes.
do and do one exercise each. I think that will be better, right? Because Saurabh and Monisha's net
Sir.
connection. Yes, yes.
Sir, sir, let us keep in one group only because sir, I don't have any slide with me.
Okay, you don't have any slide.
স্যার আমি বলছি গ্রুপ একটাই থাকুক স্যার, আমরা চারটে রোল নাম্বার ওয়াইজ চারটে ভাগ করে দিই, কারণ আমার এখানে মেইনলি তিনটে কোশ্চেন আছে স্যার এক্সারসাইজের, রোল নাম্বার ওয়াইজ আমরা তিনটে ভাগ করে দিই। তাহলে এই মানে 1 থেকে 50 হচ্ছে ফার্স্ট এক্সারসাইজটা করুক, 50 থেকে পরের জন হচ্ছে সেকেন্ড এক্সারসাইজটা করুক, এভাবে করুক স্যার।
ওকে, আর মানে একটা গ্রুপই রাখছি, তাহলে ব্রেকআউট রুমে ভাগ করছি না দাদা, তাই তো?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, ওটাই সুবিধা হবে।
হ্যাঁ স্যার,
তাহলে সবাই সবাইটা দেখতেও পারবে স্যার, তাড়াতাড়ি হবে।
রাইট, তাহলে একটু এক্সপ্লেন করে দাও অ্যাক্টিভিটিটা তাহলে।
স্যার আমি কন্টিনিউ করছি স্যার।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ করো।
Okay, now we will have a small exercise. In this exercise, we will give a small required details of a family, and he will give you the food items they have consumed, right? So this is the first table. Here it is shows it's a 3-member family. There is head of the wife and wife of the head of the wife, head of the family, and there is wife of the head of the family and their son. And their physical activity for head of the family is the moderate, and physical activity of wife of the head of the family is sedentary. And the second table is what are the food items they have taken and their quantity, right? Now that our exercise is these 3 points. Okay, first we have to calculate the dietary requirements of the family food group wise, then we will calculate the dietary requirements of the family energy, protein and vitamin A, and then calculate the total consumed amount of the family energy, protein and vitamin A. Sir, ওদেরকে তিনটে গ্রুপে তিনটে রোল নাম্বার ওয়াইজ ভাগ করে দিই, ওদের তিনটে মিলে তিনটে গ্রুপ।
তাহলে বলে দাও কি রোল নাম্বার কত অবধি রোল নাম্বার আছে আমাদের? আমি দেখে নিচ্ছি। দুশো অবধি আছে ধরে নাও, ঠিক আছে? 1 to 60 একটা গ্রুপ 1, প্লিজ নোট 1 to 60 is group 1, 61 to 120 is group 2, and the rest is group 3. Okay, so he is now telling you the problems.
So first please note this table, everyone, please note this table.
So you can take a screenshot if you want, or you can take a picture. Okay,
yes sir, please note, I'll giving you a few minutes to write this or take a screenshot of this table, and I'll
screenshot. Yes.
If you all of you are ready, then I will go to the next step.
If you are ready, you can show a thumbs up sign. Just take a screenshot or a picture. You don't have to write this thing down.
Okay, I think everyone has taken the screenshot or written it down. Now this is your table about the total consumed quantity of the family. Okay, Now group A, the first group, your question is calculate the dietary requirements of the family food group wise. Group 2, your question is calculate the dietary requirements of the family only for energy, protein and vitamin A. And group 3, your question is calculate the total consumed amount of the family energy, protein and vitamin A. And group 2, if you don't have the PDF of NIN, please tell us. I will provide that PDF. Sir, I think they have the PDF of NIN.
Okay. Or no, one thing we can do is that we can give them the exercise, okay, and let them answer. Okay, so
yes, sir.
Okay, so instead of now, because only 20 minutes are remaining now, okay, they can take a long time. So I shall ask one person of group 1. So group 1, I think I shall ask Anubroto Roy, roll number 19, who will WhatsApp Dr. Ornov the answer. Calculate the dietary requirements of the family, 4 group wise. You have to discuss with your friends, roll number 1 to 16, and you will WhatsApp the answer to Dr. Ornov. Okay, Anubroto Roy. You
Okay,
shall be
sir.
getting 2 days. You shall be getting 2 days to calculate. Okay. So
Okay,
group
sir.
2, I shall assign uh, Palak Dhandania. Okay. Roll number 84. Palak will work with her group. Roll number 61 to 120 and WhatsApp the answer to Dr. Arnold within 2 days. So calculate the dietary requirements of the family, energy, protein and vitamin A. Palak, is it all right with you?
Okay, sir.
Okay, fine. Thank you. And group 3, Shukanta Sharkar, roll number 168. Roll number 168, Shukanta Sharkar will be working with group 3. They will be calculating the total consumed amount of the family, energy, protein and vitamin A. So you will have to send just one answer each group, because time is now very short. We shall not be able to complete this exercise within 10 minutes. Okay. So please send the answer in a paper and take a picture of that paper, or you can type also, that will be easier, to Dr. Arnob Sarkar. You can ask for his number also, and you will WhatsApp him, and not all the persons of the group will answer, only one who has been assigned will be sending the answers within 2 days. Okay, this is your assignment. So you have to work with all of the group, right? So
Sir, one more question is also there.
Okay, tell me.
That is this growth chart.
Show the growth chart.
Sir, we can discuss this point here. They have
Yes,
learned
yes, we can discuss the growth chart here only, right? Please show the growth chart on now. It's not visible.
Sir, I have shown it. Is it visible now, sir?
No, you just stop sharing and then start sharing. So
okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, is it visible now?
the chart is not visible. You can show the chart. Yes, it's not visible now. You just make it large, right? So you can ask your question. Okay. Anybody who will want to comment on this growth chart and explain it properly will be getting a 5-star when we meet. Okay, so who is going to be the volunteer? ফাইভ স্টারটা কি কম হয়ে গেল? as an incentive?
Sir, this is a wait for
তোমার নামটা বলো, তোমার নামটা বলো। নীলার্ক, তাই তো? হ্যাঁ বলো, রাইট, থ্যাংক ইউ, বলো।
Sir, this is the graphical representation of the weight for age of the
child, 9 month old child of the couple, Amitram and Poojaram. And here we can see that the growth is varying from the yellow portion of the graph to the green portion, which means that the standard deviation is within plus 2, which means the growth is not means the growth is not stunted and it is within the normal range. So we can say that the child is having a normal growth rate.
নীলার উপর আনসারে খুব একটা কনভিন্স হলাম না আমি। থ্যাংক ইউ ফর ট্রাইং। এনি মোর পার্সন, এনি ওয়ান অফ ইউ? Thank you, Nilarko. Maybe we will get a class for trying at least. Okay. So just remember these things, Lubyanka, if you are there. Anyone?
Sir, like the growth chart is being measured and it's in the green zone, so indicating it's like up till now it's normal growth.
Okay, so what growth is normal? Height or the weight? সৌরদীপ্ত? একদম লেখা আছে বাবা, সব জিনিসটা লেখা আছে উপরে।
Oh sir, the weight.
Weight for what? You never mention weight. You mention weight for?
So the given age.
Weight for age. Okay, so the weight for age. So সৌরদীপ্ত, I think অর্ণবকে কি দেওয়া যেতে পারে 5 স্টারটা?
দেওয়া যেতে পারে।
আচ্ছা, সুতরাং সৌরদীপ্তকেই দেওয়া যাচ্ছে, যদিও আর একটু ভালো করে আনসার করা যেত। সো ক্ল্যাপস ফর হিম প্লিজ, অল অফ ইউ। ওকে, সো অ্যাকচুয়ালি মানে এরকম করে এক্সপ্লেন করবে যে ইউ ক্যান সি বয়স অনুপাতে ওজন, মানে ওয়েট ফর এজ চার্ট। ওকে, সো ওয়েট ফর এজ চার্ট, দিস ইজ দ্য আইসিডিএস গ্রোথ চার্ট। দিস ইজ 0 to 5 years, জন্ম থেকে 5 বছর লেখা আছে, আর ছেলের ফর আ বয়। ওকে, সো ওয়েট ফর এজ মানে নীলার্কর হাইট ফর এজ কিন্তু নয়, ওয়েট ফর এজ ফর আ বয়। সেই চার্টটা, দিস ইজ আইসিডিএস গ্রোথ চার্ট, বিকজ ইউ হ্যাভ সিন ইন WHO growth chart there are 5 lines, so here there are 3 lines. Okay, so you can see that the weight, starting weight is also within the green zone and the trajectory is upwards. It is not flattening or there is no dip, so the trajectory is going well. Okay, and there is no dips, no flattening, so the growth is normal, growth trajectory is also normal. One thing to comment about is that he has plotted in 2 dotted lines, so we are supposed to measure the weight every month. If we measure the weight every month, then we join the 2 points by a straight line, and if in any month the weight is not measured and we measure the weight in the next month, then we join those lines by a dotted line, because we do not know what is the weight of the chain in between. Okay, so remember all of this, and see he has written the dates in the dates below also. So this is a very well done growth chart. You shall be having this growth chart exercise in many of you will be having this problem in your MBBS. Okay, so please see how to make this growth chart. You can take a screenshot also. It is absolutely perfectly done. Okay, so please note that. So I think Shorodipta Nilarko will be getting half and half of the 5 star. Ornab, তাই না?
Yes sir.
ঠিক আছে, দুজনে ট্রাই করেছে at least. Thank you and give claps to all of them because they have volunteered in the emoji box. Okay, so thank you Ornab, and please share the exercise with me. I shall share the exercise in their group. Okay, and I shall also share your phone number to the group so
Yes.
that they can WhatsApp you directly, and accordingly you can give comment to them. Please let this be a group activity or an individual activity. Okay,
Yes.
so Arnav, you can stop sharing now. There was some amount of network problems, but I think all of you have done well. All the facilitators have done well. Arnav, Orchita, Monisha and Saurabh, all of them have done excellently. So a big round of applause for them from you. Please give them an emoji of clap or something. Okay. So any more queries? Any more things you'd like to ask? Any more queries? I think this has been a long class, so no more queries. So we have now completed anthropometry and the dietary parts, and please submit your assignments in time. Thank you, class, for staying with us. And Lubianka, please send me the attendance as in groups like 1 to 10, how many of them are present, 11 to 20, how many of them are present, etc. Okay, so please send me the attendance like that so that I can mark it. Thank you. So I am ending the class today.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.